G'day, it's Rowan, and tonight I'm going to make an outdoor rustic mirror. So what problem am I trying to solve here? Well, for a while now I'd like to shave outside. I've been using this dodgy old mirror with cracks in it, propped up on a Besa brick. It's not very safe and it doesn't look very good. I reckon it's time to make something a little more permanent, something that I can hang on the wall, and maybe a little bit more stylish as well. Let's go. Next door, the neighbour was chucking out an old mirror. So I grabbed it and with a cheap cutting blade, made a few scores, and I reckon this will do just what I need. So I could have used the angle grinder to cut these angles, but I want to try out the new metal bandsaw. There aren't many saws on a swivel base that will allow you to cut more than 45 degrees. But you don't have to think about it as 67.5 degrees. Just flip it over and subtract that angle from 90 degrees. Then you're left with 22.5 degrees. All you have to do is move the piece around a little bit and you get the same angle cut. The rivets are sort of decorative really, but we'll actually use them to sandwich in the palings by welding on some strips of iron on the other side. Palings are not all the same thickness, so I'm going to have to run them through thicknesser to tighten them up a little bit. I'm just profiling the palings here to fit inside the frame. Then I'll try and flip the whole thing over without dropping them everywhere. I'm getting the whole thing up on a couple of bits of pine here, just so I can drill through my holes without damaging my workbench. I sat a board across all the rivet heads so I could turn the whole thing upside down without dropping the rivets, and then I clamped down the frame onto the board, pulling the rivets down nice and flush with the surface of the frame. So when I weld along the back, the rivets will be nice and flush with the outside. I'm using a couple of half washers as mounting brackets that I'll weld onto the top of the mirror. There's a heap of different techniques for finishing metal. What I'm doing is spraying the metal with an anti-corrosive black paint, and I'll let it dry and burnish it off with steel wool and then wax the finish. I don't mind a bit of rust, so if it rusts up over time where the wax wears down, I'm not going to be too worried, but we'll monitor it and see what happens. The dry steel wool was taking a bit long, so I cheated and used a little bit of terps. The terps just helped take away the paint in the areas where I wanted the raw steel to show through. The next step is to fasten the mirror. I didn't want to glue the mirror directly onto the palings because the palings have layers of organic matter that will shed off over the years. So I'm making up a couple of strips with bolts welded onto them that I'll drill through the palings and apply the glue onto those instead. These bolts are looking a little bit rusty because I've already treated them in acid to take away the coating for safe welding. If something ever happens to the mirror, I can take these brackets out and replace the glass. I've got an old set of shears that I'm going to weld onto the top of the mirror, but they look a bit plain by themselves, so I'm going to add a little bit of ornamental metal on either side. I start by cutting 2 strips of black sheet, and then I'll tack weld them together at the end. That way when I do my bending, I end up with 2 symmetrical shaped pieces. Overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's really solid and I'm pretty sure it's going to stand the test of time. The only thing I might do differently if I was getting commissioned to make this would be to get the mirror cut professionally. It only costs a couple extra dollars to get them to do that, and they can give you a nice, smooth, safe edge. Thanks for watching to the end, guys. Look, I'm not planning on putting out too many videos, probably 1 a month. I'd rather focus on something decent rather than putting out too much content, and I just don't have the time anyway to put out too much. If you like what I've done, please subscribe. It really helps to motivate me to make more stuff, and I hope to see you on the other side of this. See ya.